All right. All right. I had thoughts aplenty. I'm going to see if I can make the 6 videos that I have planned to record will be somewhat coherent. I'm not sure, but you know what? I'll try to. So this first one, this comes from I saw Ugupnik. Ugupnik made a video about how fascist uniforms are basically kind of like McDonald's uniforms because they're so regulated and whatnot. And he said he was going to pair that with socialist, like the Red Army ones, and he didn't. But the thing is, beyond that, I watched a few of his videos. And I thought about class unity. And he said that middle class is a spook, basically, and that middle class really doesn't exist, and that ultimately it's just proletarians versus the bourgeoisie, basically. And then there's petty bourgeoisie as well. Okay. Now that's my very bad faith recollection of his video. But to me, I think that there are far more divisions than that, and of course he mentions it, but he's like, the issues of race, and sexuality are important too, and those are not negotiable, this and that. Anyway, the thing is, I really don't think class unity in the United States is possible. It isn't. The reason I say that is because ID poll is very strong, and more specifically, blackness against whiteness is very strong. And while a lot of these, progressive folks, the BLM folks, and everything else, they will say, no, we don't like Nation of Islam. We don't like Not Fuck Around Coalition. We don't like Marcus Garvey. He was a fascist. And, all these black anarchists that may live in, Tobago and places like that. The reality is this. The reality is that everybody else gets kind of ignored, as always. People will always simplify the United States to whites versus blacks. This, is the internal debate that goes on. Asians, yeah, they're, obviously the attacks have occurred, but in the large scheme of things, they're ignored. Hispanos, Chicanos, the rest of that population, they are forgotten about. Generally speaking, they are still an issue, and they are still, but commentators usually simplify it to the honkies and the brothers. Basically, lack of melanin versus melanin, basically. And I think that it goes to show that these are not, you can go ahead and talk about class all day, versus people like Bill Gates and whatnot. But the thing is, though, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, of course, Jeff Bezos stepped down, but whoever will lead Amazon as CEO after 2021, they will have plenty of goons around them. And the thing is, you can go ahead and try to convince them all you want to that, we're all part of the same thing. But to me is that even afterwards, if we did have a socialist society, there would still be divisions. Those divisions would be very real. The thing is that economists, the, more skilled labor will have better options than you. That's the whole thing. And this is something a lot of socialists don't talk about. But the fact is that once the Bolshevik Revolution happened, people have to admit, I've seen Finnish Bolshevik, you have to admit this as well, is that, the thing is that, the higher skilled workers, the economists and whatnot, that we had to give the bourgeoisie something so that they could work for us. So ultimately, this whole sort of idea of, well, class unity, that's just to get people on the side. That's just basically to create an army. You just want to have a bigger army than they do. That's all it is. That's all it is when people talk about class unity. It's the idea of get rid of racism and all this, but we all have to work together, but we are going to have to talk about these separations, okay? So, yeah. And the thing is that it's a very House of Cards sort of idea where it's just like, yeah, class unity, but I just, like I say, I'm hesitant, to say the least, to mention that class unity is even possible. Okay, that's the first one out the way. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of these 5 videos I'm going to put over today and then tomorrow. So hopefully y'all enjoy that. See you later. Goodbye.